Liftoff in 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to part 2 of the grand finale of season 1 of the Moving Right Along podcast, the podcast that's by young writers for young writers. If you have not listened to part 1 yet, stop, go back, listen, and this will make a lot more sense. Otherwise, we are going to jump right back in where we left off in our crew versus host pitch war. At the end of round 2, we are at crew 2 and host 1. Host, you have a chance to come back. For round 3, we are doing another round of verses, facing off against new people, new opponents. I hope I made that sound intense enough. So, our first opponents, getting this back on track, our first opponents are Ruby and Cassette, and I want Cassette to go first.
Awesome. Thank you for this opportunity.
Are you ready for your words or
Ready as I'll ever
phrases?
be.
Your first word is shrub or shrubbery, and your next word is touch grass, to quote our resident witch.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So shrub and touch grass.
Very greenery
So
based.
Really a vegetation theme we have going on here.
I love that.
This story is called Shrub, Touch Grass. It's about a fairy named Shrub. Decides that they're done being a fairy, okay? They want to go to the human world, right? He said, no more of this wings, no more of this fairy dust. No. You're done. So, one day, they decide the only way that they can ever get to the human world is if they descend the fairy palace, they touch grass. What happens when they touch grass? Well, no one knows because it's forbidden by the elder fairies, all right? Shrub decides, I don't like rules. Rules were made to be broken. The shrub heads on down, touches that grass, and finds themselves in the middle of a city. New York City, to be specific. It's giving very enchanted, all right? They pop up and they're all like, where am I? And then they run into someone else. Man, fortunately. And they run into this man. And the man says, what are you doing here? And Shrub says, my name is Shrub and I'm a fairy. And the man says, that's not possible. The man also has a daughter. The daughter hates him and the daughter is also 20 years old. So, not sure what happened there. So the daughter is like, wait a minute, I don't want my dad marrying this strange fairy person. Because fairies aren't real. The daughter tries to stop this entire thing, okay? Oh, while this is happening, the elder fairies are also trying to get Shrub back. As it turns out, Shrub is part of an ancient prophecy to destroy the veil between the fairy world and the human world. The elder fairies end up contacting the man's daughter and they say, listen, fairies are real. Pretend they're not because we don't want to associate with y'all. So how about you kick Shrub out of New York City, send them back to fairyland. We'll do you a solid and make all of your dreams come true. So, by the end of this story, the veil is actually broken. Spoiler alert! All of the fairies merge with all of the humans, and they find out that 2 is better than 1. All because Shrub decided to touch grass. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. One with serious potential.
That was beautiful.
That was so
I thought for a
fun.
second when he said 2 and becomes 1, I thought you were going to sing the Spice Girl song. And 2 becomes 1. That one.
Okay, I apologize because I had a similar idea, but not like the fairy, just like the title of it being like Go Touch Grass Shrub. So, sorry. And the person's name being Shrub. But I'm sorry. It's all completely different beyond that. Okay, so for us, for my story, it's this quirky little contemporary called Go Touch Grass, Shrub. And basically, have you guys heard of Everything or Midnight Sun? Okay, same kind of energy. They can't physically touch grass, and their name is Shrub, and it's just so ironic. And this is about a little 15-year-old girl, and she can't touch grass, and it's so upsetting to her. She basically has like this deathly allergy to grass that if she literally touches it, she's gonna die. And so then like all the kids in school bully her by saying go touch grass, Shrub, and it's so mean and it's so cruel. And she's just suffering, but then she meets dirt. And guys, guess what? dirt can't physically touch dirt. And so it's just this beautiful little love story of they both aren't able to touch dirt or touch grass, and they just are struggling together, and they're just also really mad at their parents for naming them that because it just really didn't work out great for them. And so it's just this beautiful coming of age as they just discover that life isn't just about what you can't touch, it's about what you can touch. Yep. Okay, that's my story. Thank you. Sobbing, that's so cute.
Voting. We'll make voting quick. Kat, who you voting for?
I loved both of the stories. I love the idea of just shrub, grass, lovely. I also did like Cassette's idea of like the enchanted aspect of it. You know, I love that movie. That's a great movie. But I think I'm gonna have to go with Ruby, and here's why. As someone with hay fever, hating grass, I relate to that. I understand that, and I'm sorry for that reason. Ruby, I'm gonna have to go with Ruby. I'm gonna have to go with Ruby's. But it was close. But just me as a hay fever sufferer, I just understood the feeling of.
Yeah, I'm allergic to grass as well, so it's okay.
Listen, I love fairies. I love books about fairies. They're so much fun. But we also know from previous episodes, and just my entire personality screams it in general, I love contemporary books. And as the birth giver of the phrase touch grass, at least on this podcast, obviously, okay, alright. But on this podcast, I have to go with Ruby's. Because I think it really incorporates the touch grass theme. So, yeah, I go with Ruby.
Alright, so, I think we've got a lot of, stories about loving nature, but I love the idea of nature hating us back, so I'm really gonna have to go with Ruby's as well. Again, allergic to grass as well. We gotta have that representation of allergies, so here for it. Sorry, Cassette.
I don't apologize. Speak your truth.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing.
So I'll make this quick then. Cassette, I like fairies. I was kind of picturing like a Winx meets Ella Enchanted kind of thing. But, Ruby, the juxtaposition, them finding, loving each other through what they can and can't touch, I'm gonna go with Ruby. Ruby wins unanimously.
This is the plot twist of a century right now.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Y'all,
this is very unexpected.
I don't know why we're so surprised. You've won, every challenge ever.
You have, actually, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand.
At this point...
No, okay. I'm still annoyed about the quotes one, though, because Ruby knew half of the quotes beforehand.
Okay, I didn't know them
That was cheating.
because...
It was cheating.
Hey, I
It was
didn't say
cheating,
use
and
my
I called it
quotes.
out. And yet, I was ignored. No one listened. No one cared.
And next, right now we have host and crew tied 2 for 2. So, come on, break that tie. Jasmine and Ray, are you ready for your words? Okay, and Ray, you're going first.
No, okay.
All right, your first word / phrase is bonks in all caps. BONKS.
Bonk.
Like you're
What is
bonking
that?
something on the head.
Good lord. Okay.
Yes, so bonk and an onomatopoeia will be educational today. And your second word is it, but it's capitalized. So the
IT. Or IT support.
That's
it.
quite a combination there.
I can do this.
Go, Ray.
Okay, so, listen up. The title of my story is Bonks It, in all caps, because you gotta get that dramatic flair, all caps, just bonks it. That is the title of my story. So basically, this is actually, I don't know what genre this is yet. We'll get to that later after I figure out what I'm saying here. Okay, so, basically, there's this girl, and she goes to this arcade, and she's really sad when she goes to the arcade, but, she's gone to the arcade her whole life, and it's just really a source of comfort for her. So she goes to this arcade, and her favorite game of all time is whack-a-mole. So she goes up to the whack-a-mole, and she grabs the little thingy, the thing you use to whack the moles. You know what I'm talking about, the little mallet-looking thingy. But anyway, she grabs the thing, and she starts, really taking her anger out on those moles. She's whacking those moles, she's bonking them, you know? And then this guy comes up to her and he's like, hey, are you okay? And she's like, no, as she's just beating the heck out of these moles, right? And he's like, you want some help there? Like, you look like you're struggling a bit. And she's like, yeah. So they start just destroying the moles together. And I don't know where I'm going with this. But anyways, so they end up falling in love. And every Tuesday, they both meet at the arcade. And they're anonymous, right? They don't know each other's names. They don't know where they live. They don't know anything about each other, except that they are both struggling. And they have both gone to the arcade their whole life. And they love the arcade. And they love this game. So they bond over this game. And they create this beautiful love story of connecting through childhood experiences and, you know, nostalgia. And they fall in love over whack-a-mole. And then, that's the story. I don't know.
No, that's cute. I like it.
Fall in love over whack-a-mole. It's my dream.
That's
We're my
adorable.
whack-a-mole partner.
Hanging my head in shame right now.
Oh my gosh.
No, I emotionally identify with like needing to. Hold on, never mind. I'm
You
not
would
gonna say that
know
out
whack
loud.
moles.
Well, no, I was gonna say with like needing to hit things to express things, but I mean like, you know,
That's going in the quote.
not.
I
yeah,
emotionally
no.
relate to feeling like I need to hit things.
but not doing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine, it is your turn to pitch to us. Bonks and
I'm
it.
ready.
Go.
I'm ready. So, my story is called Finding It. It capitalized. So, this is a high fantasy, middle grade novel. Kind of, very Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail-esque. So, we have this character named Bonks, right? And he's been bullied his whole life. He's like 13. Everyone's always bullying him because his name is, Bonks. And so one day he decides he's going to go on a quest and prove to everyone else that he is not just, he is not his name, like he's better than that. So he decides to find a witch, but he doesn't really know where to go. So he just goes into some random alley, sees an old woman, asks for a prophecy, and gets this, not totally there prophecy about finding it. And so he decides to just go on this adventure, on this quest, and he meets these two other people that join his quest, and their names are Pow and Wachow, right? So they're all onomatopoeias, and so they become the onomatopoeia posse. And the onomatopoeia posse goes through this adventure on the woods to find it, but what they really find is themselves. This journey of self-discovery leads to Bonk realizing that he doesn't need to connect his value to what other people think of him and think of his name. And so the three of them bond over this whole onomatopoeia name and being bullied and stuff, and they have some really good angsty conversations in the wood around the fire, about their struggles in life. And in the end, although they don't find it because it never existed, it was always within them. They just find friendship. All right, that's what I've got.
That was amazing. The
Oh,
metaphor
I
there.
lost. That was amazing.
C'est très beautiful.
Wow.
Really? I don't know why I did a French accent for that.
Cat, what?
What just happened?
I just did no, listen, I've been doing like really bad French accents for the past 2 weeks because some of my flatmates are French and I can't stop doing it, and I probably shouldn't do it on the podcast because I don't want to offend anyone. But it's so hard not to just go it's so beautiful. C'est très beautiful.
Oh.
Okay, voting. Cassette, begin our voting period.
Listen, Ray, it was beautiful. Yeah, it was a beautiful story of finding love. But, gotta be honest, finding yourself, finding it within yourself sometimes has to take the cake. For that reason, my vote goes to Jasmine. Fair. Very fair.
Kat?
I'm stroking my beard and I'm thinking. So I liked both of the stories. What I liked about Ray's was the idea of, violent activities together bring people closer. And therefore, I felt it was very realistic in that aspect. But on the other hand, like the idea of, just going off into the like on a journey, on a spiritual journey to go find yourself. Also, something I noted which was that pao is also a kind of bun in Malaysia, which made me hungry for a minute, and which did put a point against Jasmine in that aspect, because it did make me go, oh, I'd really like to eat right now, because it's like 1 a.m. It's like 1:30 and I'm like, I'm really hungry now. So that is a point against Jasmine, but I did like the rest of the story,
I'm
and
so
for
sorry.
that, yeah, you should be.
Okay.
I'm joking.
Oh my lord.
I'm gonna go with Jasmine.
Oh my gosh!
I think.
I got Kat's vote! And then I start crying, and then there's like the golden ticket thing, like.
All right, Ruby, who do you vote for? Ray or Jasmine?
Okay, so I would 100 out of 10 read both of these, and I would 100 out of 10 read about people falling in love as they do whack-a-mole together. If knowing my reading taste, I would read the crap out of that book. I would also read about this whole like journeying and the onomatopoeia, and oh my gosh, I loved it. I will have to say though, them being called the onomatopoeia posse really just, it took the bag from me. So I'm sorry, Ray, I love you, but my vote's for Jasmine.
No, you're good.
It was just like, I just heard
Jasmine.
onomatopoeia posse and I was like, I lost it. I was like, oh my gosh. Just a perfect name. I don't know what to say.
I actually need to write this book now, you guys.
The onomatopoeia
Do it.
posse.
I guess.
So cute.
Yeah.
Ray, I loved... Like, I feel like that would be a really cute Book of the Month novel. Like, you know how they just had, like, the X-Hex and the Love Hypothesis? I feel like it would have a really cute cover for the Book of the Month. But we gotta have some middle grade rep in here. And like Ruby, the onomatopoeia posse sold me. So, Jasmine, you get the point.
Oh
get
my
the point.
gosh!
And now we are at hosts 3. No, we're at... Crap, hold on.
No.
I should not
No, I
be
think you were
recording.
right. I think you were right. I think you were host 3.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Host 3. Host 3. Yes.
Yes.
Amazing.
We're at
Definitely.
host 2, crew 3, with 1 round to go.
Let's go, you guys.
Guys, listen.
Come on,
I'm
Kat,
a
you
little
can
bit
try it.
worried. No,
Alright,
listen.
let's go.
If we
Listen,
tie,
I'm a
will we have to
big-
do a tiebreaker?
Can I just ask
If
a
we
question?
tie, we tie, because we
Okay,
didn't
fair
plan
enough.
this out.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Can I just ask a question, right?
Yes.
If the crew win, are they gonna take our jobs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is
I
this
don't want your job.
is this what we
I'll
get
take your
Allison?
job.
That's our hint at season 2.
That's the
Carry
plot
this
twist of the
podcast.
century, you guys.
Decision. Who will host? That would be so
We'll
funny.
carry the podcast as Atlas carried the world on his back, and that is
Oh
what
my
makes
gosh.
such a callback.
Bringing it full circle. Alright, Kat, are you ready for our words? Our first word is...
Oh my god, did you get the other one of Ruby's?
No.
No, I got a reference to my least favorite... No, I got my least favorite TikTok audio reference.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no, our podcast. It's broken.
I don't like that.
That
idea.
is
That's our
so-
face.
it.
I hate that audio.
I didn't want poopy, but I want that less, so.
And our second one, our second phrase is blood.
What?
Okay. Ooh, actually, I've got an idea. So, oh no, our podcast, it's broken. And blood. This is a horror story about a podcast producer. I know, a horror.
Simone,
Someone's
horror?
gonna kill us.
Producer
Someone's going to kill us.
who has to, their job is managing a chaotic crew of hosts and
Self-plug.
managers and everything. And eventually, They get one too many dumb jokes. One of their hosts abuses the audio one too many times and says shaky shaky as a sound effect. And she snaps. And she becomes... Oh, we have to get blood in there. Hold on. Shoot. This is worse than I thought. And she snaps. Crap, I don't want to kill y'all. Hold on. Shoot, I didn't think this through.
It might be too late for that, Simone. Is planning our
I wasn't aware that this was something that was really going to happen. It's a little in-cart moment. What's going on here?
Carry on, Simone.
I didn't
Keep
think
it going.
this through. Okay, so she snaps. She can't take it anymore. She can't take the shaky shakies. She turns into an elite hacker, and she goes rogue, and she doxes the
Shaky,
hosts.
shaky.
You beat me!
Do it! I'm just gonna do it! No! I want...
Okay, this is an autobiography now.
Simone, I swear it wasn't me!
It is. Now it's an autobiography. And she doxes the hosts and reveals their private lives to their huge audience. And holds all of their personal information for ransom and says, if you make one dumb joke again, if you derail the podcast one more time, I will release all of this information. But then she has a change of heart. And while she still wants to manage her podcast, she realizes, I now have all these tools and I can become a hacker for good. And she starts exposing bad people on the internet. And she is known as the Blood Hacker, and that's her name, and that's the story there.
For legal reasons, this is all a joke.
For reason, yes.
For legal reasons.
This is all a joke. I can't write
So,
code,
redemption
so.
arc? Question mark?
This-
Was that a redemption
Redemption
arc?
arc. We have a redemption arc.
you know-
We're gonna found family. Yeah.
Simone, I think
Feels
this
a little
was...
close to home,
Yeah.
Simone, is there something you want to share with the class?
Is the shaky
I love
shaky
all
really
of
bother
you.
you that much?
You know, I feel like this
Listen to
story,
shaky, shaky.
right, was so beautiful that it deserves
Shaky shaky. There is no amusement on Simone's face.
I said it was beautiful.
Can we dock a point from the
Between this and Poopy, y'all are on very thin ice.
Cassette is coming for your job.
Fire us, Cat. They're gonna fire us.
God dang this.
It's just gonna be Ray.
Okay, Kat.
Okay.
Your turn.
Right, okay, so
You have Oh No, Our Podcast, It's Broken, and Blood.
I know, you know what I
for
realized
it.
is that I wasn't even thinking because I was so invested in Simone's story, so I have like no extra time to think. Okay. So once upon a time in a land far away where there was, crumpets and the Queen and lots of tea. I'm describing the land of Britain. There was a young person who really, really wanted to be in a podcast. Unfortunately, they had a very dark secret, which we will not reveal at this time. But let's just say it's a dark secret. And let's just say that some people just need to understand where the line is drawn, right? So this person has like a pretty great life. They just decided to join.
Are you about to say what I think you about to say?
Decided to join
I'm
a podcast.
lost.
They decided to join a podcast, right?
I thought you were gonna say Mafia.
Everything. Cassette! I'm so annoyed. Anyways, they decided to join a podcast, right? And this podcast is really, really great. They're having a great time with it. But they feel like something's a bit off about the other people on the podcast, you know. They're all so pale and they like never go out in the sun and they always seem to just like stay in their rooms all the time. And they start to suspect that maybe there is something a little bit wrong about this podcast group, you know. They've never seen them like, you know, they act very strangely. They don't seem to understand like social customs, you know. They have so little social skills. And yeah, so the other host just is like, there's something off about this. So they start like tempting the other host, you know, they start doing some research on it, and they realize that when they bring up things like garlic and, you know, some like pure things, because also the other people in the like cast and crew just seem like they don't seem pure at all. Like I feel they just everything they say just makes the host feel like, oh, this doesn't seem right, this doesn't seem good, you know. They seem very violent as well. They talk a lot about like murdering people, they talk a lot about like whack-a-mole and like hitting people, and I was just like, wow, as a young innocent person, I'm just so disturbed by this. And then one day they see a little smear, a tiny little smear of red at the side of one of the like other host's mouth, and that's when they realize that the hosts, the cast and crew are all vampires. Yeah, they're all vampires apart from the one innocent host. And obviously this can't be happening. They research all the other cast and crew, and they find that all these people keep going missing, right? All these people in their like hometown just keep going missing, and they're like, oh my god, what is going on here? So even though it hurts them, they decide to leave the beautiful town of Crumpets, the beautiful country of Crumpets and tea and the queen, and they go over to the other country, and they hunt them down, and they say, you know, I loved being on this podcast, but while they're recording an episode, right behind you where your doors are, someone comes in and opens the door while you're recording, and they with a stake, and then the vampires are killed. And the reason why they managed to get over to the other country is because they have connections in the mafia, the vampire hunting mafia. The vampire hunting mafia. And that was a dark secret that they had, was that they were vampire hunting mafia. Okay, that's my beautiful story.
I feel so attacked right now.
Wow.
People just assaulted you.
Ray took that whole thing personally. So I feel like both of these stories were attacking all of us.
I don't think so. I feel like
I felt a little extra
like
attacked.
pitches.
I thought that
Okay.
Shaky Shaky was public domain for me to share with the world. So, you know what?
I think that we shouldn't vote on these. I don't know. I don't think I see potential for them in the publishing realm. They're a little outlandish.
I think you're worried because we both talked about murdering you guys. And I think you're
I
like,
also think
worried.
that there's like
glad
reason
you
for
shared that.
lawsuits to occur like
Glad you
under
could get that
this,
off
you
your
know?
chest. Thank you for
Okay,
sharing.
well, you know what? We can vote, but it won't be.
We can?
Do we
I
want to
can
vote,
vote.
or do you want to force us to do another round?
Yeah, I think you should do another round. This was a bit
Aggressive.
yeah.
Kat, I think we have to do another round.
yeah, all right.
Apparently.
I mean, I don't know why. It was not based on anything. It wasn't, you know, there's nothing.
It's not like we're
Completely
recording a
fictional.
podcast right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Our first one, oh god, is premeditated. That's our first word. We're going on the same vein here.
Yeah.
And our next word is
Butt.
It's not butt, is it?
Meditated butt.
Was that for me?
Is it podcast related?
it's farts.
Is it for me?
And Ruby suggested it. I'm gonna commit arson.
Ruby is an 8-year-old girl.
I'm choosing another word. I hate you. I'm not doing
No,
it.
you have to go with that. You have to go with that, Simone.
With everything you
Simone.
say. Listen, do you really want to push us right now? Do you really want to push us after just hearing
Actually,
that?
after all that, never mind. Change
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Thank
just
you.
like
Okay.
Change it.
We have premeditated and seed.
Seed.
Seed. I don't like that word. That's a gross word.
Seed. Right, so my two words are premeditated seed. So once upon a time in a garden, there was a beautiful gardener who was proper hunky. He was hunky-dory. He liked to have, he spent the whole time carrying around ladders and stuff. He looked a bit like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and because of that, his name was actually The Rock, right? But the thing was, the irony was that even though he was called The Rock, he loved like green stuff. He didn't like, and Anyway, so he really liked green stuff, and he decided one day to plant a little seed. And this seed, he watered it, he took care of it, he loved it because he didn't have any family or friends, because Dwayne The Rock Johnson, as someone who looked like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he just intimidated people. And also people just didn't like him. They were like, you're not the real Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but I think you look like him. So it's upsetting to me, because you've not been in critically acclaimed films like The Tooth Fairy. So instead, he decided to take care of this seed, and the seed like grew and it grew and it grew until finally all the townspeople were like, wow, that is one big plant, right? And the plant turned to the townspeople and it was like, you have been rude to my friend Dwayne The Rock Johnson, right? And for that you will pay for your crimes. And the seed swallowed them whole. It just ate them, and it was like gobble 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 gobble. And of course Dwayne The Rock Johnson, not Dwayne The Rock Johnson for legal purposes, was like, oh my god, I can't believe you did this. But the seed turned to him and said, you knew what I did, you knew what I would become, you chose this, you premeditated this, you knew all along. And
It's like Little Shop of Horrors.
Ray looks like they literally just died. Ray looks like that the whole thing killed them. Ray, why are you lying on the ground?
Because I'm tired and I'm traumatized. These are weird.
This is
That was so
spiraling.
enwrapped. Like, I didn't even think ahead. I wasn't thinking about my thing while you did that. Shoot. Mine is, there is this elephant with really big ears. And he gets made fun of by all the other elephants because his ears are so big. It's not Dumbo, though. But because his ears are so big, he can hear really well. And one day he's walking through the forest and with his elephant herd, and all of these elephants are just tromping along, stepping on everything. And all of a sudden from the ground, this big-eared elephant hears, "No, don't step on us, help me." And he looks down, and there's this little seed on the ground, like a flower it's sitting on top of its flower. It's ready to be picked and planted. And this seed is speaking to him and says, "If you take care of me, I'll grow up, and I can't have you step on me because everyone else will step on me." And the story is this elephant talking to the seed and listening to the seed and really putting his all into it. He's very meditative about his care on this seed, and he watches as the seed grows and it becomes this little village that he can then hold on his back, and all of the other elephants are jealous. And can you tell I don't really remember the plot of Horton Hears a Who?
I was just going to say that. I was like, Horton Hears a Who?
Plagiarism.
That's the story.
Unfortunately, we are going to have to fire you because that was plagiarism.
That was definitely
Wait,
Ray takes
Thank you
plagiarism
for sharing.
very seriously. I don't know if you knew
Yes,
that.
for realsies, yes.
I am now the producer, but I don't know anything Simone does, so good luck out there.
It's gonna be a great rest of the season 2, guys.
Yeah.
Wow, so Cass was really weird and Simone's was really cute. So that's quite the contrast there.
Do we want to vote?
Let's vote. Let's finish this. Let's finish
All right.
this.
We're finishing this. Cassette,
Ray is
go.
traumatized.
No, you know I love you, Simone. But we can't promote plagiarism in this here household, so I'm gonna have to go with Kat.
Thank
Fair
you.
enough. Ray.
Yeah, no, we can't promote the plagiarism. I'm sorry, Simone. It was cute, but halfway through I was like, sorry, an elephant with a flower? I know this from somewhere. And I was like, So, as much as the Dwayne The Rock Johnson was really throwing me off, I have to go with Cats.
Ruby.
Why is this turned into a little kid's lesson on plagiarism?
Send me more information.
Was that premeditated?
It's like no matter how
Was
good your
that
story
plan?
is, if you plagiarize it, it's not good. I liked both of them. I love Horton Hears a Who, and I really liked the weird Dwayne The Rock Johnson and the seed that eats things, and it was just really special. But I think Cats had me more on my toes and more confused, so I'm gonna go with that because it was funny. But Simone's was actually just like really pure, and it was Horton Hears a Who, but you know, I still liked it.
And Jasmine, who are you voting for?
All right, so we have Cat. I love the use of, you know, the word hunky in the primary description. Interesting choice. The Rock references, you know, it gave off kind of Stephenie Meyer romantic fantasy in writing, but instead with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You know, I like Simone's. I can just imagine like a watercolor kind of children's book where there's like moss and grass growing on the back of the elephant, and I think that's so cute. And while, yes, we do need to address Simone's plagiarism, I think also, Kat literally wrote a Dwayne The Rock Johnson fan fiction.
I said legally it's not Dwayne The Rock.
A Little Shop of Horrors AU. That's what we've heard.
I said legally it is not Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I did say legally it's not.
You called him like Dwayne The Rock Johnson several times. And it's literally like
some people
like
call their children Rihanna. No. Some people call their children Beyonce. Listen, it's not up to me what his parents decided to call him. They just thought, wow,
I mean, technically, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's real name is only Dwayne Johnson, so.
Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, didn't we do a whole episode on fanfiction counting as real writing, guys?
We did.
It does. That's not, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like, there's some, like, you know, Little Shop of Horrors ideas in here. But I do really like the idea of, like, an older man, like a man who's, like, you know, not making friends, and he just loves on this plant. I find that so wholesome, even though it's gonna be eventually scary about him plant-eating people, but, like, literally that wholesome friendship between the plant and the man, I have to go with Kat. I'm so sorry, Simone.
That is fair. And with that, the epic finale to our Season 8 special episode. The score is...
Season 8?
No, episode Season 8. Season 1.
Wow.
I'm tired.
With veterans.
You just age us.
Hey, y'all.
How old am I?
We have hosts, 3 points.
Woo!
And crew, 3 points.
I
You're not taking our jobs!
Right?
We're gonna make this about, like, and in the end, it doesn't matter who won because they came out stronger as friends.
What about the friends?
Right?
Yes. No, we destroyed.
We'll just have to come back in season 2 and settle the score.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
I guess in the end, it really was about drive and power.
I stayed
hungry and us devouring. Yeah.
So that was the end of season 1. We had such a blast making this entire podcast, especially this episode, even though there were some friendships broken, you know, there was a few threats of murder, I think.
Just a few.
But yeah, we're all friends here. But we will be returning for season 2 in about February, so there is a bit of time off, but if you want to see us before season 2, we are collaborating with Taiwi during their, well, I said collaborating with part Taiwi, during Taiwi's write-a-thon. So that is the organisation we're under, the Young Writers Initiative. They are doing a write-a-thon on the 8th of January, and there will be a live appearance of some of the podcast people. Woo! Yep, we're going to be doing a live episode. So if you are interested, please get the write-a-thon is free. Yeah, there's a free tier, isn't it?
If they want to be in the call with us, though, there's like a price. So if you want to ask direct questions to the cast, you have the possibility to.
Mm-hmm. And your ticket sales go to support the Young Writers Initiative, which We'll do the mission state real quick, puts advanced resources into the hands of young writers like you, like our hosts. So it's worth buying a ticket.
And it will be really fun because it will be a live episode. You will get to experience our chaotic energy live. You'll probably also get to see our faces, won't you? Because we'll have our cameras on. You'll get to see that. You'll also get to see all the reactions that normally you don't see.
Reveal?
Mainly it's me pulling faces at Ruby like this.
Oh my
See,
God.
you didn't see that. You didn't see that just now because you've not seen. Definitely get a ticket to the Write-a-thon and you'll see us in season 2. And season 2 has some very special episodes with some very special guests. It's going to be really fun. Anyone have any last minute? Also, say thank you to our crew. Our crew are amazing. Woo! Show them some love. Show them some love on the Taiwi Instagram.
We love the crew.
Yeah.
We love the crew.
This podcast would not be possible without our amazing crew. They are the ones who stop this entire thing from just devolving into a mess, and they're amazing.
Looking at you, Simone.
Yeah. And so, yeah, go show them some love.
And if you want to say in what we do in season 2, we'll have a question box up on our Instagram after this episode goes live, where you can tell us either what your favorite episode was this season, what you liked, what you didn't, and give us some suggestions for season 2. We are totally down to do almost anything.
But until our next season, Writing Cadets, we will see you on our next adventure.
And that's a wrap for season 1.
We did it. We did it. We did it.
Thank you for listening to the first season of the Moving Right Along podcast, made possible by the Young Writers Initiative. We will be returning on February 5th for our second season, but until then, we'll still be active over on our Instagram during the break at Moving Right Along Podcast, or you can check us out on the Taiwi website, tywi.org. And while you're on the website, why not check out if we have a contest going on, or join the Discord server, The Writers Town. A very special thanks to our crew, without whom this entire season wouldn't have been possible. Simone, our head cat herder, Jasmine, our musical genius and emotional support for Simone, Cassette, our rap battle queen, and Delaney, our highness of horror. All sounds are taken from the Free Sound Project, and all music is by Kevin MacLeod at filmmusic.io. Today you heard Beauty Flow. And we will see you again on February 5th for our second season.